Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, readers of all persuasions. It is I, Gayla, and welcome back to Book Uncorked and Caffeinated. Yeah, I'm just chilling. It is May 31st. It's the last day of May. So I figured my upload for Sunday would be my May reads. Um, let's get started. I read 11 books. I just finished a book like literally 30 minutes ago. Um, and I'll get into the story of how that came about. But anywho, I initially thought I read 9 books. So I was trying to complete a book to make it just 10, just a round number. But I found out by looking through my story reads, I didn't update something that I had already read. So officially, I have read 11 books for the month of May. So let's get started. So I'm in the middle of a series called In the Heart of a Valentine. So the first read of the month was In Pursuit of You, In the Heart of a Valentine. This is number 6. This is about another brother who once again has fallen in love with a woman. He's like this eligible bachelor. No one is going to take him off the swivel. And then, someone always takes you off your swivel. So this book series is written by Stephanie Nicole Norris. So I'm gonna continue on with it. I think it's like 14 or 15 books, but because I can get them on Hoopla or Libby, I'm gonna continue with the series. And I've been having a good time so far. So we're just gonna continue on with that. Then back in rotation is my homegirl Christina C. Jones. I haven't read anything by her for a couple of, maybe a month, maybe a few weeks, maybe 5, 6 weeks. I was Christina out. I'm not gonna lie. And it was like love overflow. And even though I was reading The Heart of the Valentine, it was like too much at the same time. So I scaled back a little bit with Christina C. Jones. Up my ante with Stephanie Nicole Norris, and so now I'm going to continue on with Christina C. Jones. I really want to read her entire catalog. I read quite a few books by her the latter part of last year into this year. When you talk about romance, she's your girly. What I've come to learn. Then I. Hey guys, it's Risha Gayla. Yes, I'm just getting up, but I'm sitting here editing my video, and I realized I talked so much about Christina C. Jones. I ain't talking about the book. The book I read by her was called Relationship Goals, and it was about these two people that met in the airport. They were going to visit their friends, and they didn't realize the couple, their friends they were going to see, was trying to hook them up. So they literally bumped into each other at the airport, and then they wound up realizing that they were going to the same place once they got to the arriving airport, because the friends husband picked them up, and they were both staying in the same place. So this was a very interesting start of a love story. So it was like not it was like it wasn't even friends to lovers or enemies to lovers or any of those things. It was just like, I met someone, now you're my lover. But it was a really good book. I enjoyed it. Got into Monica Walters. Monica Walters is fairly new to me. Until I Met You was the name of the book that I read by her. This one was interesting. So this one was about a father who, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but he went to jail. And when he came out, his daughter had met. So let me back up a little bit. Him and his wife had passed years before. So he was like a single father. Something happened, so he winds up going to jail. So his daughter was just about to graduate from college. And so she completed her college, or she was just about to graduate from high school. She completed high school, completed college, found a mentor at her job who kind of took her under her wing when she was coming up when her dad was in jail. Now, her dad was a very prominent man in his community. He had money, he had a house, and his daughter managed that while he was away. So when he got out, he was able to continue with his life, which is really interesting because not a lot of people have that when they are incarcerated and come home. So she took care of everything for him. His house was up to date. The only thing he had to do was like renew his license and things of that nature. So this woman that took her under her wing, she's older. Her father's in his mid 40s, close to 50. and the lady and the father started dating. It was such a twist, but it was so cute. Also, getting to see older people date. So I'm in my mid upper 40s, and so it's interesting when I see and hear stories about older or midlifers, I would call them, dating. Oh, this sun is going down, so literally it's going down. Let me put this over here so it won't be all that light. You probably still gonna get the light. Anywho, and so after that I read and this, I swear, in the heart of a Valentine. This is book number 7. This book was interesting because this book was about the parents, the Valentine parents. And mom was feeling a little outdated, so to speak. She wanted to have some work done on her body. She didn't think her husband loved her anymore. And he was like, boo, I'm going to always love you. You done had all my kids. I think they had like 6 or 7 boys. He was like, what is me not to love? He authentically loved his wife, and she just needed to know that. So this was a good love story with another set of older adults. Then we have Wings of Red, and you're going to hear more about this in another video. But Wings of Red by James W. Jennings was about his um, it read more like a memoir about his time in New York and becoming just trying to figure life out after being incarcerated, and just maneuvering life, and New York was the backdrop of his story. It said it was fiction literary, which I can see, but it read more like a memoir. So I'm really interested to see. I might reach out to him because he's active as far as in the education field. So I might be like, hey, where were you going with this? That would be an interesting story. Then I went back to the Valentines, but I didn't read book number 4. It was A Game Changing Christmas, and I was going to wait until Christmas to read it. But then some things were lost in translation. So you can read it alone or you can go further. But what I decided to do, oh my God, that sun is on beam. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I drew my curtains, but the sun is literally setting right now, so I just moved up a little bit so it won't be like in my face. Anywho, I was reading Game Changing Christmas, which is number 4 in the Valentine story. And this was kind of a story that had 2 prominent families and families coming together after a long rivalry. So it was the Valentines and the Roses. So it showed how the season of Christmas kind of brought the families together. And so it was an interesting story. It wasn't the best out of the series so far. It was okay. But it was a part of the series, so all is good. Then, on May 13th, if you are in this community, what happened on May 13th? Besides it being my birthday. That's right. Kenny Ryan's Can't Get Enough came out. And I marched my little self right after work on down to the barn and the Noble. And I picked up this book. And I read it it took me longer to read than I thought. So I didn't physically read it. I audiobooked it. If you've been watching my channel long enough to know, you know I audiobook and one physical read a week. This one I was just constantly in it. So it took me a little longer because it was just to and from work. And thoroughly enjoyed it. It was my favorite of the 3 books of the series. I said it in another vlog, by my birthday vlog video, that I enjoyed it the most because I think I can identify the most with Hendrix. I loved all of them. All of them are 5-star. But this one really hits home with like taking care of mom. My mom is not sick, thank God, but taking care of an older and aging parent, not having children yourself, trying to navigate the world of dating and finding the man that's for me. So I really related to the story. So I think that's the reason why this is my favorite of the series. Then I moseyed on over back to Peachtree Cave. This is book number 2 by Sanathia Williams. It's called Waiting for Friday Night. And this one is about a principal who is a working woman, professional woman. She decided to have a child on her own. And 12 years later, 13 years later, her child's father is a teacher at her school and her child's coach. Yeah, so that was interesting. Then next is Our Gin. This was one of the books I bought at the latter part of April. You'll hear about this book again as well, by Diane McKinney-Whetstone. Um, Our Gin was really interesting. It was about an older group of friends who lived in like this, I don't want to say old folks home, but it really was. But they weren't like old. They were like 60 something years old. And they had like active sex lives, they had active lives, and it was really cool to see love portrayed in a different way in a different generation. And the next one was by Tati Richardson, The Build Up. So Tati Richardson wrote, um it's right here. Oh my god, I can't believe I can't think of it. Losing Sight. So I got this when it first came out. This is Tati Richardson's Losing Sight. So she's a new author to me. And so she has another one coming up. And what I heard is that she's going to be doing books as it relates to middle-aged, older people. And it's going to be about all the senses. So this was Losing Sight. So I heard it's going to be about the five senses. But in saying that, I never read anything by her, so I picked up The Build Up, which is her first novel. And I said, you know what, let me start from the beginning before I read Losing Sight. So The Build Up was about a couple who got together. They didn't start, it was like frenemies, kind of like frenemies, the lovers, because they weren't enemies. They were actually co-workers that worked together. He was the head of this tech company. She came on as a person, not tech company, it was a, what you call it when you build things. Oh my God. Okay. Tech company. We're gonna go tech company right now. I probably have it on the screen. But they architecture firm. Why was that so hard to get out? Architecture firm, and they brought her on board. But the twist is they only brought her on board because she was really good at what she did, and the person that was already there kind of got their job by nepotism, and he wasn't actually good. Even though he got the job, he wasn't good at it. And so that kind of had them working together, and then they had to not work together because they didn't want to seem like they would just sleep with one another to get the job done. It was a whole twisted thing, but it actually was good, and it introduced me to her work, so I'm really excited to reading Losing Sight. And then the last book I read was The Perfect Divorce by Geneva Rose. So I read The Perfect Marriage a couple of months ago. I was on a Geneva Rose kick at the end of 2024. Like, I read a few things by her, and I thoroughly enjoyed her writing. And so I picked up The Perfect Marriage because I kept hearing about it. Totally loved it. Didn't realize that The Perfect Divorce was coming out. If you read The Perfect Marriage, you know there was a twist. The woman represented her husband in court, because he was brought up on murder charges for killing his mistress, and his wife represented him. And this one is about her new marriage, and she's about to get a divorce. Baby, the twists and turns, and this was really, really good. I was really taken aback, really surprised. So towards the end, you kind of got who did it. But it was really good and also scary how people think about these things. Because I know there are people that think about how to divorce their spouses, and that wasn't cute. But it was actually a really good like suspense thriller type thing. So I'm really into Geneva's Rose writing and would like to read more from her. So I finished up this book today because a couple of weeks ago when it first came out, I got it on Libby, and Libby is a library app, so you only have it for 7 days. And I didn't get to finish it in 7 days, so they like snatched it back. And so I put myself on a waiting list. And even up until like, this is Saturday, even up until Monday, it still was like a 2-week hold. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to, get to finish it for my May reads. And lo and behold, this morning when I woke up, it says your book is ready. So I said, oh, and I was already at, the one thing I like about Libby is if you borrow it, they keep how much you've read. So I was already at 71%. So I read 29% today. It was like a goal. I just finished it like 30 minutes ago, but it was really, really good. I read it in the car when I ran some errands. I came back, was cleaning the house, cooking lunch, all the things. So I just finished it. It was really, really good. It was really worth the wait. And I'm looking for more stuff from her. I don't know what her catalog is about, but I think I've read, including these 2 books, maybe 5 total books of hers, and I really enjoy her writing. So I'm all in. So those were my May reads. But so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to read for June, because July, I said in a few videos ago that I'm doing an author read or author study, how you want to call it, with Chanjamanda Ngozi Adichie. And so I'm going to read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books by her. I'm going to do that in July because I really have the time to do that. School ends for me on literally June 30th. And so July 1st, boom, I'm starting my author study with Adichie. And so I'm trying to figure out when I want to read in June. So I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking. I don't know. I don't know. But this is what I'm thinking. So I have so many books I want to read. And I'm kind of sad because I'm like, I want my life to be reading books, but I need to make money. So these are the 4 that I'm thinking about really reading, like seriously considering. So definitely Tati Richardson's book, Losing Sight. And matter of fact, I'm probably going to start this literally tomorrow. So tomorrow when I work up on Sunday, I try to read a little bit on the weekends, like when I first get up, do my meditations, do all the things, and then read for like an hour. So I'm going to commit to starting to read this. This is going to be my physical book for the next week. Then, if you've heard me on this channel before, I'm a glutton for punishment, but I am going to follow up with Lori Gilmore's The Strawberry Patch Pancake House. I think this will be a quick read. And this summer, Strawberry Patch, and I think the Gingerbread House comes out in September or something like that. So I'm going to read this. I want something light and fluffy. Then I'm going to read No Ordinary Love. Bam. Because I got the second one as well. So I want to read these 2. So that's 4 books. And then the 5th book, Bringing Up the Rear, is A Low Country Bride. And the second one is already out. I forgot the name of it. I'll put it on the screen. It's already out. So that's 4 or 5, possibly 6 books. And I want to see how this is going to go. Because although I do physical books, I haven't done one in a while. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think all of my books from May were audio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, 10 of the 11 was audio. Wings of Red was the only physical book I read. Can't get enough, even though I have the physical book. I didn't do it. I just did it on audio. Even Our Gin, I had the physical book, and then towards the end, I tandem read. I read some of it, and then I brought up the rear, listening on audio. And yeah, so 10 of the 11 books was audio books. So I don't want to get out of practice or habit of having a physical book and being bored with it, or it not holding my attention because I can do other things. I really want to like sit down and read. And so maybe what I will do is a challenge during June to get through these 6 books. So what's happening is Losing Sight is a little over 300, 306. Strawberry Shortcake is, let's see how many pages. I think it's a little over 3 as well. This is a little thicker. This is about 350. Then No Ordinary Love is about a little over 3. And I'm suspecting that the second book is the same amount of pages. Then Low Country Bride is 340. And then I'm suspecting the sequel to this is around the same. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put these 6 books, even though I have 4 of them physical right here. I do have the sequel to that, but that's on the other side of the room. I'm not going to get up And then I will have to get the sequel to this. So that's 6 books. So what I think I'm going to do, the challenge, what I'm going to do for June is 100 pages a day. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a challenge. 100 pages a day. So that's pretty much, let's say, a full 7 days. That's 700 pages. That's like 2 books. 4 weeks in a month, 2, 4, 6, 8. I may get 2 other books in there, but I'm going to leave myself some leeway. I'm going to just make it 6 and see how that is. And, oh, that's what I'm going to do. So this is going to be my June TBR. And I hate doing TBRs because I'm totally a mood reader. This may look totally different at the end of June of what I actually read. But I will start, at least start losing sight tomorrow. I might start it tonight. And let's go from there. So that's what I have on the list. Also, I did go to Barnes & Noble today. It is the last day of the month. Like, I need to buy another book, but I did. Get out of my business. Don't do that to me. Don't talk about me too bad. Don't talk about me too bad. Where are they? So, I bought Annabelle Monaghan, It's a Love Story. I actually read Summertime first, and then I read the latest book second, and Summer Romance, and then I really enjoyed it. The only book I haven't read thus far is Nora Goes Off Script. So I'm going to order that. But this just came out. And then A.H. Cunningham, who she wrote, I'll have it up on the screen. I don't know why I don't remember it because I actually really like the book. I'm trying to see, do I see it in my immediate vision? I don't, but I have it on the screen. She wrote that. And so Miss V's Hot Girl Summer. So this is the latest one that's out by her. So push come to shove, if I do manage to get in 8 books, those 6 that I just told you, this might be what I bring up the rear in June for pretty much 2 books a week. So maybe I'll do that challenge. 100 pages a day, which is equal like 2 books a week. And we'll see what happens at the end of June. Who knows? So I have a TBR for June. Wasn't totally expecting it. Had a little mini book haul. So there it is. That is May. May is done. May came and went. I've been partying and drinking and eating and celebrating this entire month from May 1st until the 31st. But I've enjoyed my birthday month. I've gotten some good reads. I had a good time. And so, yeah, that's that. This is the video of the month. So I will see you next week. I think I have a vlog coming. Look at that. My very first vlog. That will be coming shortly. And I have another video about The Last Shall Be First. You'll get a hint of that. And then we'll figure out what the summer's going to look like. The summer's going to be a very good variety of things to read because I have more time to read because I'm not traditionally going to be in the classroom. So yeah, that's that. Do all the things. Like, comment, subscribe, share, share, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.